The noise was so loud it woke him up. His eyes were wide open. He didn't move a muscle. He simply listened silently to the sounds coming from upstairs. It was the third night they had heard strange noises, but this time they were much louder and more disturbing. "Are you awake too?" she asked. Her voice was breaking and trembling. "Yes." She took his hand. It was cold and shaking. They both wanted to think that the wind was moving the sun loungers on the upstairs solarium, but neither of them could hear the wind blowing outside. Everything was quiet. Too quiet. The silence itself was so profound, it was deafening. The noise of something dragging the terrace furniture continued for a few more minutes until it finally stopped. The next morning, the couple, still trying not to think about what had happened during the night, went up to the terrace to enjoy the sun of their vacation in that secluded spot near the coast. The beach loungers and hammock, once strategically placed in the best-lit spots, were now overturned and scattered haphazardly across the solarium floor. The large plastic table where they usually placed their cold drinks was broken in two, and there was no sign of the enormous beach umbrella where they sought refuge from the stifling heat. They both knew it wasn't the wind. Neither of them said anything at that moment. They just hugged. They discussed what could have happened. "Maybe it's a monster," he said mockingly, smiling. She got angry and told him to stop scaring her. He apologized, hugged her, and kissed her forehead. The day passed normally. That evening, while they were having dinner, it began to rain torrentially. "I'll take Odie for a walk, don't worry." She thanked him and went to the bathroom. "Odie?" The dog looked at him intently and froze, knowing what was coming next. "Let's go outside, boy." The dog jumped up with astonishing speed, happy and leaping around the boy. They went outside. The air was thick and warm, so the cool rain was welcome. The boy and the dog started walking along the path surrounded by bushes and vegetation that led down to the river. Suddenly, Odie stopped. "Odie, what are you doing?" He gave the leash a couple of gentle tugs. "Come on, what's wrong? Let's go." The dog was frozen, staring at a fixed point on the horizon, and then he began to whine. He was watching something. The dog's mere reaction was enough to send a chill down the boy's spine. What could he be seeing that filled him with such terror? Then he saw it. It was about 30 meters away. The path curved to the right. Nothing was moving, but he saw it. At first, he only perceived a faint glimmer. A few seconds later, he clearly saw two large yellow eyes staring back at him from behind the bushes. He began to walk backward, his eyes fixed on that terrifying sight. He was too scared to turn his back. He went inside the house. The dog ran to her. She asked why they had returned so soon. He didn't want to frighten her any more than she already was, so he simply told her that Odie didn't want to walk. They decided to watch a movie, and he chose a comedy to distract himself and ease the already tense atmosphere. After the movie, they went to sleep. He had managed to avoid thinking about what had happened until this moment, but as soon as he hugged the girl, he immediately fell into a deep sleep. He opened his eyes. He looked at the clock on the nightstand. It was 4:15 in the morning. Odie was crying. He rubbed his eyes, trying to adjust them to the darkness, and looked around carefully. The dog was in the corner, staring in deep horror at the front door. They never left the door open, and that night had been no exception. But it was open. He glanced at his girlfriend. She was still fast asleep. He mustered his courage, got up without waking her, and walked to the door to close it. He was terrified. The dog was still whining. He was afraid to look inside. He closed his eyes, squeezing his eyelids shut, and leaned forward slightly as he reached for the doorknob and closed it. His fingers touched the cold metal, and with his eyes still closed, he began to close the door. Very slowly, trying not to make any sudden movements or noise. However, curiosity got the better of him. He opened his eyes a crack, just for a moment, to see what was on the other side. He would have liked to think one last time of his girlfriend, but he didn't have time to react. He didn't even scream. Two enormous, furious yellow eyes were the last image he took with him from this world before he died.